What's going on, guys? It's Asher here, back with a new video finally. I am like 12 days post-op surgery on my meniscus, officially up, moving around again, and it is officially time for me to pick which putter mold I want to use for the rest of the year. So obviously, right before I tore my meniscus, I was doing the whole Prodigy thing, and I was using PA5s. I really like PA5s. They're nice, kind of understable, shallow. Been really digging them. And previous to that, I used Fireflies for like 5 years probably. So Fireflies are probably the favorite for this competition. But I have like 13 or 14 different molds. I probably have 50 putters out here, quite honestly. It's ridiculous. That being said, the winner of next giveaway is probably going to get a pair of putters. So you might want to stick around for that. But yeah, that's what this video is all about. I'm officially back to some extent. We're getting there, so content's about to start flowing here soon. I'm going to decide today what putter I'm going to use going forward, and some putting tips for you guys that some of you may not be implementing currently that have helped me quite a bit. So follow along and enjoy. So my first putting tip that I want to give y'all going forward, that I do on a regular basis, and I make my wife do, just to make you a better putter, to make more putts. You know, that's what we all want to do. I have my basket in my yard elevated as if it's probably 1 foot higher than a standard basket if I'm putting off my porch. Which, when we're practice putting, we do a lot of putting off the porch. We do a lot of putting around the yard, but it's a true elevated basket when we're in the yard. But when we're putting from the porch, it's just slightly elevated like a foot. And what's really important about that is when you're putting, nose angle or launch angle is kind of one of the most important things. And when you're putting on a slightly elevated basket, that forces you to putt every single putt kind of with just a little bit of launch angle up in the air. And that's going to cause you to basically spin putt a lot more putts in. When I first started putting, I had a lot of nose down issues. And what happens when you putt nose down, basically your disc is nose diving the whole entire time. But when you putt nose up, you can kind of keep that height for a really long extended amount of time. Also, if you barely hit the basket with a little bit of nose angle, it'll slide up and it'll go in the basket. But if you're nose down at all and you hit the basket, I mean, you're done. And it's very hard to control the nose down and make a lot of putts if you're constantly putting nose down. But a way I fought against that is I put on an elevated basket all the time, and that has kind of taught me to release with a little bit of nose angle up. Ultimately, that's like my biggest number one tip with putting. Just practice on an elevated basket, slightly elevated. That's going to really control your launch angle, which is in turn going to make more putts. So I'm set up probably just eyeballing. I'm probably 28 feet from the basket right now, putting on a slightly elevated basket. I've got 2 judges real quick. These are both beat up pretty good. Judges, super shallow. I putted with judges probably for like 6 months in the very beginning because I didn't have anything else. Not that there's anything wrong with a judge. They're honestly great putters. Not a lot of negative things to say. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to try to make these and just see how they feel. All right. See, that was almost a little bit nose down. It kind of dove there at the end. But, all right. So, first 2 putts of the day. Missed both of those. Pretty close. I like the judges because they're shallow, but they're not going to be my favorite by any means. I forgot to mention that the judges, we're going to do beaded putters first. So, to make it as simple as possible for people who don't know what beaded means. Beaded means there is a small ring around the bottom of the putter. Some putters have giant beads, some of them have micro beads, some of them have just very little unnoticeable beads, and some don't have them at all. But we're going to do the beaded section first. Wizards are the best thing that Gateway ever came out with, period. And I think a lot of people would agree with me on that. But honestly, I've putted so much practice putting with a wizard, and I have like 8 of them. But I've never took the leap and actually putted with wizards like for a round or anything. Um, I like them because they're kind of soft. There's multiple different plastics. You got like super soft and kind of soft, and I don't know. I don't know all the Gateway stuff, but we'll look at these wizards real quick. They're beaded. They feel good in my hands. They're one of my favorite practice putters. I will say that. Oh, all right. Well, as you can tell, I'm gonna have to get back in the groove of putting. It's been a little while. We'll keep the beaded going here. All right. Next up, we have Latitude 64 daggers. There was a short time, probably a year, that I putted with daggers. This is back when I really enjoyed the hard plastic. I don't like it as much anymore for putting, especially when it gets colder outside. I feel like I can't get any kind of grip, like they're too glossy. But I do like how stiff these are, in the sense that they're not really going to beat up at all. And you could throw them off the tee very easily, and they're going to be consistent. And daggers are nice and stable. And basically, Ricky just made a new set of daggers when he went to Discraft, is all he did. But we'll putt these. All right, well, that's the first make. That's really just because I'm not warm yet, more than anything. But daggers overall, I guess I should rate these as I go. I'm going to give daggers like a 5 out of 10, honestly. They're just not my jam, to be completely honest. Ooh, okay. These have a bead. So these are the Rip It PA3 Ultra Soft by Prodigy. 1010 sponsor was actually cool enough to hook us up with these. These are technically Rachel's, but I stole them for the video. These also have beads on the bottom. PA3s are the most common putter from Prodigy, without a doubt. They have a nice, stable finish to them. I actually love how the Ultra Soft feels, because it is kind of, it's got a little flex in there, but it's not so much so that you can't get any support when you're throwing. But we'll see how these go. If they hit the basket, they stick, and that's pretty nice. Oh man, this is crazy.
If they hit the basket, they stick.
If I miss the basket on all these, we're gonna have to reshoot this. But anyway, we're not gonna we're gonna disregard that at the moment, because I know I'm not a big PA3 guy, so I'm not that convinced that's an issue. Okay, that wasn't a fair representation to any of these discs. So I grabbed them again. We're gonna put them one more time, just so that they get a fair shot. Here are these PA3s first. Ooh, a little low. That's fine. The good thing is, though, on a regular height basket, that's in. All right, daggers next. All right, 1 for 2 as well. I'm learning that I left a judge out there somewhere. One judge goes in. These are wizards. Little nose down. All right. Still missed a bunch of them, but it is what it is. I need you guys to realize I am actually decent at putting, but I haven't played in like 12 weeks because of my knee. Thus, a little rusty at the moment. All right. Next putter we're going to check out is these PA5s in 400 Ultra Soft. I would never actually putt with these, but we're going to include them in this for funsies. Yeah. Ooh. Would never putt with those, ever. In that plastic type. But we're going to keep rolling with that. PA5s in 300 Ultra Soft. These are super sick. I love these. These are actually pre-patent. I got these a while ago from Prodigy. But anyway, we'll try these out. These you would think would be very high on my list of favorability. Ooh. And quite honestly, I do like those, but they're probably like a 6 out of 10 just because they're a little too floppy for me personally. Oh, okay. Next one's here. We have 300 Ultra Soft PA3s. These are extremely warped now because they have been thrown against a brick wall probably 30 times by not me, for a reason I don't understand still. But anyway, so they're kind of warped, but we will see how they do. Should be pretty stable. Yeah. See, the ultra soft plastic just kind of sometimes sticks to your fingers just a little too much for my personal love. We're going to keep the beaded thing going here. All right. We have some more PA5s. These are actually in 300 soft, so they have a little bit of hardness to them, which is important. These are all, just a little low, but 2 out of 3. Those felt pretty good. They were dead straight, which I'm a big fan of, for sure. Now for the most stable putters I have. These are PX3s, which is the most overstable beaded putter that Prodigy makes. We will try them real quick. Give them a nice little toss. Oh man, that was awful. I'm not putting great today, so this is probably not helping the whole video, but just based on feel alone, I do like those, but I feel like the further I get away, they'd be too stable, and they'd be more like an approach putter rather than a true putter. Hold on, let's take a second. I just noticed something. Everett is an extremely smart dog. I'm learning that I left a judge out there somewhere. And I only give him base plastic disc. Well, it turns out the judge I threw earlier was base plastic, and I guess he just assumed that he could have it. Because I can leave anything that is not base plastic in the yard and he won't touch it. But he's decided the judge is not my favorite. Everett, come here. Bring it. So the durability of this one, come here. The durability of this one is not Everett approved. That's unfortunate. I would get mad at him, but he'll only eat it if it's base plastic. And I didn't make it clear that it wasn't his. So we're going to let him slide. But anyway, he's a mess. Okay. Well, we're going to keep moving forward. RIP to that judge. Okay, now we have fractal PA2s, which a lot of people, when I started this whole Prodigy thing, they thought I would pick the PA2 because it is probably the most comparable to, let's say, a Firefly, except it's probably a little more stable. These are beadless. I know we were on the beaded train for a second, but we're going to jump off of it for a second and try these fractal PA2s. Probably 28 feet. I know that they're kind of stable, so I can just kind of push them into the chains nice and hard. Man, just headwind just picked it up just a little bit. I do like those. Those are like a strong 6.5, maybe 7, probably. Next, we have the fractal PA1s here, which pretty similar to those, except these are beaded. I don't love beads, but it doesn't really make a difference to me. The PA5s have beads, and I like them. The bead versus beadless choice doesn't really affect me. It's more about how they feel and how they fly. These are supposed to be stable too. PA1s, we'll see how they go. Oh, good catch. Oh, just didn't give that one enough sauce. I'm going to put those just slightly under the PA2s, so probably a 6 out of 10. Next, we have the PA4s in the 300 soft plastic, which the 300 soft plastic is probably my favorite by far as Prodigy goes. for putting because it still maintains a little bit of durability and stiffness, but it feels good on your fingers. All right, PE4, pretty similar to a Shaman from from Gateway. We'll try these. With those, the bottom is so unique, it doesn't really feel like there's anywhere for me to put my fingers, so I'm not a big fan of those, to be honest. I'm going to probably put those around 4 out of 10. Next, we have McPro AVRs, which are just simply AVRs. I putted with these bad boys for a long time. I have 10 of them probably. But now, I don't like them as much because over time, they get kind of glossy and they're hard, and you kind of lose your finger. They kind of lose grip over time, is what I've noticed. But they're nice and stable. They're reliable. I haven't made 2 of any of these yet. That's crazy. Next and final, we have my OG Fireflies. Fireflies are non-beaded, Nexus plastic, they glow. There's a lot of cool things about them. I've been putting with these longer than anything else. Still slightly windy. We'll see how these fly. Pretty straight. You can kind of tell why those are my favorite, to be honest. The point of this video was probably to pick something different, or at least kind of figure out what I might like. We're not going to jump straight to the Fireflies. I'm going to grab a couple of my favorites, and we're going to go from there. So out of those like 12 different sets we had there, my favorites are probably the PA2s, the PA5s, and then of course Fireflies for sure. 2 of these are beadless and 1 has beads. We're going to throw these all one more time and see if we can kind of come to a conclusion on all of them. We'll go PA2s first, the most stable of them all. They both went in. Those are nice. PA5s, a little less stable, more point and shoot. Second one slid in there. And then finally we have Fireflies. Whew. The Fireflies are just dead center. I mean, like there was no chance they were ever going to miss. So honestly, that's probably why my favorite putter is the Firefly. That being said, if I continue to do this little prodigy thing for a little while, I'll keep the PA5s. If I don't do the prodigy thing for the next couple tournaments, I will go, open bag, of course, and do Fireflies. Just because I've had them forever. They're Nexus plastic, super nice. Beadless is great. I actually have a pair of like Galactic Fireflies that are not Nexus that Matt gave me, or he might have took them back. I don't know, but I don't like them. Only the Nexus ones. The plastic type is really important. You want a soft yet stiff plastic. Those are my favorite. Thank you for watching. Comment your favorite putter down below that you think I should try. We're about to do the giveaway from last video, which I can't remember what last video was or what I said I would give away in that video, but we're going to give away a set of these putters. So we're about to do that right now here in 3, 2, 1. Congrats. Message me on something. I'll get them sent to you. Once again, like, comment, subscribe. When I hit 2,000 subs, which is really soon, I'm giving away 3 of Gannon Burr's signature disc, and then probably going to give another set of putters away for this video. So comment your favorite down below, like, comment, subscribe to be entered in a giveaway, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace. So y'all go check out 1010. They just did a big MVP drop, dropped a bunch of really cool plastic. Use code Asher5, save yourself 5%. Help me out, help me continue to grow my channel and do giveaways every single video. I appreciate y'all. I'm out. Peace.